us for now. Hey,
Hey, what's up, everybody?
hope everybody's doing well. Good to see you, Taylor. You doing all right?
Yeah, doing okay. A lot has happened in the U.S. since Friday, Supreme Court rulings and things like that. So, definitely paying attention to the political scene here, and
Yeah.
and of course trying to provide support for people like we do on the mutual aid front.
Yeah, I'm sure that affects a lot of the work that Distribute Aid is doing, and sort of like taking a moment to taking a moment to reflect and see how that reflects on the rest of the world.
Yeah, well, it certainly adds like a lot more overhead, I want to say. If you're a woman or a person with a uterus in the States right now, there's a lot of mental and emotional challenges that are popping up with that. And obviously for some people, it kind of directly impacts their lives with clinics canceling appointments and stuff in certain states. So trying to be cognizant of that. It's interesting because I'm used to being in a position where I can respond to things like if there's natural disaster or refugees or something, like cool, we can ship aid. And this is kind of like police violence or some other political issues in this country, not an area that we can directly provide support, but certainly something that we want to be paying attention to, and see if there's not other ways that we can support people. Just hey, can we take some pressures off of folks' lives by continuing to support mutual aid groups and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
might allow them the space to deal with the issues that they're facing right now. So
Lending our privilege where we can.
yeah, exactly. I think that's it's important to have a lane, right? So, like, for us on the stream, that's this open source software lane, working on distributed projects or distributed as a whole. That's kind of the, international logistics for mutual aid. And it's important to have a lane because you build up that expertise, you build up those connections and relation and trust with people that you work with, and you're just much more effective than if you
Yeah.
hop from issue to issue to issue. So it's interesting. I went to a protest on Friday, and this is a good example of like sticking in my lane. I wanted to show up and show support, and I think it's really important for especially people who look like me to be showing up to support and to show people that are protesting that their voices are being heard.
Yeah.
And so me and my buddy took a shopping cart. We borrowed a shopping cart, loaded up with water and snacks and stuff, and we're pushing it around at the rally and at the marches and things like that to just make sure everyone was healthy, hydrated, nourished, right,
Yeah.
recovered after the march. And that seemed like it was nice. It's always nice when I get to go out and actually do something myself, compared to just working with Excel sheets and phones and stuff to coordinate the logistics.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Taylor. I think that's inspiring for all of us who can, you know, afford to spend that um, social capital to be able to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of people doing small, regular, everyday sort of actions, making those small, regular, everyday sort of choices. And like you said, using our privilege where we can apply it to
Yeah.
support people that don't have that, um, for sure. Um, cool. So didn't want to
Yeah.
acknowledge that, but overall things are going great. We had a pickup on Monday. We had 3 containers of water picked up heading over to Europe. And we'll be sending another truck of water down to Florida to help with water distro for summer heat waves and pre-position it for hurricane relief if there's a hurricane on the Gulf Coast this year that gets bad. So things are certainly moving.
Awesome. Let me thank you for sharing. Let me get us a link for people who might be interested in contributing. Let's see. Open didn't should have thought of doing this sooner. When today, yes, today is our last day of maintainer month, and
Maintainer month, we made it through.
we made it through. I'm super stoked. I think we got some great stuff done. We got some great recordings. I still have to put those up on YouTube. That's my bad.
Yeah, I started a playlist on there, so I linked to that in the tweet
Oh,
thread, and so
nice.
I've added. I think we have 3 videos right now. I'm not sure if we have more, but I'm just kind of listing the most recent first on the
Yeah.
playlist or whatever.
In
Yeah.
fact, you know what I'm gonna do now in the background, because I'm a terrible multitasker. I'm gonna download our latest one from last week, so we can put it up. I mean, this is how it goes. I'm happy to show the process of how we get this stuff on YouTube in the future, if that's interesting for folks.
Yeah. That might be a cool, like, kind
Very
of dive
meta.
in at some point, like a special stream where we just kind of show our streaming setup and the tools we use and actually
Yeah,
like, yeah, yeah, for
because
sure.
one would think it's like super sophisticated and stuff, but at the end of the day, like really all you need for doing like doing good like this and doing like live streaming is a computer, maybe even a phone if you're not coding, and a website like what we're using now. You see it at the top right corner there is StreamYard, which makes
Yep.
this super straightforward.
Yeah, I
But
definitely
yeah,
like that. I thought
sorry.
it'd be like a lot of production effort when we started these streams. And yeah, I mean, you have the experience and knowledge and stuff. So you're just like, hey, here's the link. I'm like, oh, I'm like joining,
Yeah,
essentially a Zoomer. I'm used to this, right? And it feels very natural because we're just hanging out, talking shop, doing some code together. And
yeah,
yeah, hopefully folks
yeah,
find it interesting.
yeah, totally. Like if y'all are interested, we can show a little bit about how that's done. But for today, we're going to be picking up on where we left off last week. So now that it's really easy to just start up a Git pod, while we were getting all set, I actually went ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, if I may. That is not a
Sweet.
Git pod, but I did start one up. Now that we've got this, let me just go to our repository here. Hope the size is okay, folks. If it's too small, please, as always, give me a shout.
That's
But
fine with
yeah,
me, but yeah, definitely speak up in the comments.
yeah, that makes it like super straightforward for us to be able to do that. So,
Yeah.
what do we have here? We have a new button open in Gitpod that lets us be able to, just be able to kick it up and get running. And I've gotten, in fact, running here. I'm just gonna get a share of that link so Taylor can have access to.
Sweet. Yeah, and it's super easy. You can use the GitPod link as well. It just requires you to sign in with your GitHub account, and it'll set up our code base. Install everything, get it running,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, you can like Ramon showed you. You can hit the share button, send the link to a friend if you want to pair up on something, or you can just use it as like an easy way to, get the dev environment going without needing to download everything onto your local machine.
Exactly. But this is new. Something went
What's
wrong
that?
installing the Sharp module. So normally, what Gitpod does is it sets up our app for us, but it would appear
Yeah,
that something isn't right. Let me just do a quick yarn install. It looks like everything didn't finish installing.
gotcha.
There's that Sharp thing from before. Yeah. Yeah. So once we have that running, we can start up the app and then we can, carry on from where we were. In fact, shall we take a look at GitHub and see what's being
Yeah.
done here?
So last week we were working. I'd started this kind of visualization ranch with my buddy Jake, and
Yeah.
Ruben and I were building off on top of that. And I think since then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I finished up some work on that visualization that we were working on, Ramon. And Jake has
Mm-hmm.
also done something very cool. He's done some 3D modeling. So he actually made a
Whoa.
kind of a globe, and topology, and then added some visualization on top of that to show the shipments from and to different
No
countries.
way.
So yeah, I think it'd make a lot of sense to start off, just catch everyone up on where we're at with this, take a look at some of Jake's stuff, and then see if we can't make some progress on what we were working on.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Let's have a look. See here. Added some visualization stuff. The ISO sounds like something with the 3D models.
Yeah.
Uh, Earth light, Earth topology. What else? Oh, that's about it.
Yeah, I
Um,
think there's some packages and stuff that were installed, but
so we need to check out the data viz branch. I'm just going to switch over back to Gitpod. Git check out data viz. And I'll just do
nice.
another yarn install just in case.
Yeah.
Periodically run git fetch. And no, I'm good for now. But
Sweet.
yeah, so
How have
that's gonna
you how
be.
have you been though? At the start, I talked a lot, so while it's installing, I just want to
Oh,
catch up. Like,
thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, been doing good. Been doing good. Been working a lot on like learning materials. So last week I published my first JavaScript lesson on Egghead. So I did a little bit of that, which was a lot of fun. It turns out that all this live streaming experience went pretty well into like dedicated video lessons. Um,
yeah, I totally see that. That makes a lot of sense. That's very cool.
yeah, like if you're watching and you're potentially interested in like getting into some kind of like video lesson production and that sort of thing, I could recommend doing stuff live on stream. It is a bit scary, but like the thought of it is a bit scary, but I find it's actually a lot easier because it kind of takes away the possibility to be perfect, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
Like
like
it
different than
does.
a conference talk where you have the talk and the slides all written out and you gotta go deliver the thing. I feel like we're kind of creating it as we go along, which
Yep,
can take off that pressure to, like you said, like try to give the perfect talk or something.
exactly. And that I find kind of it kind of gives me the opportunity to be chaotic in my work, and for me most importantly, to describe out loud everything I'm doing,
Yeah. Yeah,
because
definitely.
you want to be inclusive, you want to make sure that folks are following along, you're not leaving anybody behind, and that turns out plays really well into teaching because you're explaining
Yeah.
out loud. It's like a big chunk of what you're doing. So
Yeah,
that I
the
found.
other thing it helps a lot with is coding interviews. I found, and I haven't applied
Yeah,
for a job in a while, but when you're doing a coding interview, it's less about, hey, can you write the code? Sure, there's like checks for that, but it's also, can you communicate well as a team member? Do you understand the
yeah,
code you're writing? So I find, I'm using the same sort of skills when we're live on stream and trying to describe what we're doing with like Gitpod and stuff. That's the same sort of thing in coding interviews. Like, okay, I'm gonna like use a map function to do this transformation and kind of talk it through while I'm writing that code out. So
absolutely, absolutely. And if anything, and I think um you said something really right there, Taylor, which is this aspect of being a good communicator, because I feel like that's an essential. Like I was just having a conversation today with somebody about like soft skills and how people have sort of like reframed that term into core skills,
mhm.
because and communication is absolutely one of them. Like I was very fortunate early in my career to be a freelancer because that forced me to communicate with my clients and explain to them like why something took this long or why I would need more time for this other task and stuff like that. um yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
that's my ramble.
definitely. No, I feel that because I feel like there's a lot of like imposter syndrome sometimes in tech,
Mm,
and so a big thing for me was kind of like you said, when I'm trying to communicate about my work, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? I know that isn't that cool.
I
Wow, I
I'm
didn't know it was moving and all that. That is so dope.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. Wow. Can
For
I?
real.
No way.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh,
Ah,
Taylor,
killed
this
it.
changes things. Can I zoom
That's
in?
awesome.
No, but that's fine. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, this is super exciting.
Oh,
And you
this
can totally
is.
see how we could like add some timing data to things and show like shipments over time. Like, nice.
I'm gonna need to just take a moment and be like, I'm just gonna go on Twitter real quick and be like, y'all are missing out on some 3D visualizations.
Yeah, for real. Grab like a screenshot or something.
Yeah, this is amazing, and this is what you and Jake worked
I
on.
didn't do this. No, this was all Jake. So we were working on just getting the data set up, and he said, okay, I want to get into some 3D stuff. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Just being encouraging. And about a week later, he comes back. He's like, cool, I've pushed my changes, right? I'm like,
Right.
what? Yeah,
Share of a website showing a 3D Earth with supply. Oh, supply lines. Would you call these lines going around?
Like our shipping lanes, maybe,
Shipping lanes.
or showing like the shipping. What is it? Not a trajectory, like routes, yeah, something like that. So it looks like it's doing like more point to point kind of, great circle navigation style. And so it's not actually going to show like the route the ship took. We don't have that level of data of like which port or where in the middle of the ocean the ship was. But I think it's still very useful and very interesting. You know,
This is
like,
amazing. I'm sorry. I just
yeah.
had to take a second to tweet that because folks need to see this. Um, this is cool. So that's like the point of origin and the point of and that comes from the data that's coming live.
That's coming live. What?
So this is live data that, well, not live. Like this is data that's supplied to the app, to the website.
Yeah, this is that same like data that we were working with, right? So it's the same kind of historical shipping data. So it's not going to be live, but I had a great talk with our ops and admin team, and they're very excited, seeing what we're able to do with this. So it's
Yeah.
probably on a monthly cycle, like every month, we'll upload the new data dump for our new shipments that month, and that should allow the stuff to kind of stay up to date and stay refreshed. Yeah.
I'm blown away. Actually, folks, how could I forget our cheesy banner here? If you want to
This
contribute,
stream made possible with coders like you.
absolutely. If you want to contribute, send us a DM. We're available and like we're super eager. Like if you want to come on stream with us and pair on this, or just like
Yeah.
do a one-on-one or a
I will totally, take, a couple hours out of my evening on any given day just to hang out with folks and work on distributed
yeah,
stuff. Just hit us up on Twitter, or wherever, jump onto a GitHub issue, find something useful there. But you're not limited. Just because it's not an issue on our GitHub doesn't mean you can't do cool things. Like we very much, especially
totally.
with this data stuff, which is kind of new as maintainers, Ramon and I, we're in the exploratory phase. So we're not at
Yeah.
that phase where you can say, here's the
Ooh, good
prescriptive issues
point.
for all this. We just want to like, hey, here's the data. We're working on improving that data and getting more of it right now. There's a lot of like non-code contributions going on behind the scenes to kind of package that data up and make it accessible. And we got to do things like clean it, anonymize like group names and things like that. But yeah, I think
This
that
is
it's there, and explore it with us. And if you come up with an idea for an awesome visualization or stats you want to show off or something like that, like you can just make that happen. You don't have to wait for our permission to start hacking on this stuff.
yeah. In fact, let's show folks what that data looks like because they might be wondering like, well, where can I see this data? And that comes in the form of content data.
Yep, it's content data, and this is going to be the combined manifests, is what
Yeah,
we're calling it. We're including some other data. Like the idea is to make all these data sets available, and we use them to like the product prices to come up with values and stuff. But it's all packaged up nicely in combined manifests.
this is just so cool. Um, yeah. So we've got. Whoops, I'm looking at the wrong page. Yeah. So we've got this. Um, and we had this is what you and I worked on last week.
Yeah, yeah, that's the kind of two layer. We were looking at categories, and then it breaks down and shows some of the more popular
Mm-hmm.
items in those categories. And what you'll notice here is masks take up most of it.
Yeah.
That we overpriced the masks in our pricing data. So if you're looking at the value, that's more heavily weighted towards masks than it should be. But that'll get
Okay.
evened out as we continue to kind of refine our data and review things and stuff like that. So more importantly, I just love this kind of two-layer step to look at our main categories of items like clothing or household or shelter, and then some of the more common items in there. Um, yeah, and what we
Fascinating.
might be able to do, Ramon, is do this, but do it based on the item counts instead of the
Mm-hmm.
costs, and that'll be a different graph, because different items we move in different amounts. That might be a good half-hour thing we can do here on the
Yeah, let's
screen.
do that. So
Okay.
that would require us to go to the Viz. File.
Mm-hmm. So I think what we're going to want to do, let's double check that counts are included in the GraphQL. And we can just scroll to the bottom, or we can
Yes.
use the
Right.
GraphQL Explorer or something. So down at the bottom for the category viz items, we have value, we have the shipment, and then we have
Oh
item
yeah.
stuff. I'm not seeing counts there, so that makes me want to go double check the Gatsby kind of transformer function we wrote to make sure counts are included and available in GraphQL, and then we can just add counts to that query.
Oh, the underscore GraphQL. Is that right?
Yep, that
Yeah.
looks
Look at
good.
me knowing stuff.
There we go. We can just select
Nice.
all DA line item on the left.
All DA line item. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and that should drill down. I think it's slightly hidden by the camera. So if you just scroll down a little bit, let's see what's popping up there as fields.
So that would be on nodes. No, sorry, I
Yep.
misunderstood.
Yeah, we'll have to click. We'll have to click into nodes for sure. There we
Okay.
go. So now we have item. We got ID. Is there something that like it should say value, but is there something that looks like counts there?
What would some be? Nah. Shipment. No. Item. No.
No. So I think we got to go into the Gatsby transformer and just add counts and expose counts through this data here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. I feel like we can do that. So that would be GraphQL. No.
It's going to be in Gatsby, the Gatsby folder right there,
Yes.
and then transform
Transform
nodes.
nodes. Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Sweet. And probably towards the bottom, I want to say.
Oh yeah, where we did the item last week. There it is.
Yep.
So the question is how. I have no idea how to do that.
That's okay. Give me 1 second. We'll walk through it together. I just want to see what the field is called in the data. So it is called count with a capital C.
Oh, there is one.
Yeah. So it's in the data. So I think if we can just right there, not an item, but down below, we can just add it directly when we're creating the node there.
Oh, okay.
Or we could set it up as a variable too. Maybe like right under value or something, since those are kind of similar sorts of stats. We can do count, and then that should point towards, I want to say node with count and a capital C. Yeah. Now, the one thing I'm thinking of here, actually, it might have been better to do it your way because that's going to be represented as a string in the JSON, but we actually want it to be a number.
But sorry, and I'm probably getting confused, but that would be we would sorry, just looking at this again, right?
Yep.
Each no, I need my 8,000. I don't know what it is anymore. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Like
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I'm visualizing this correctly in my head. So each each category will have a count of items.
Each so at the data layer, right? At the data layer, we're dealing with line items, and so what that means is like here is a type of item which has a category and other
Oh,
properties. Here is the value, here's how many we shipped, and then here's the total value for that. So it might be like we sent 50, textbooks to this educational project. Each textbook is worth $10, and there are 50 textbooks, so the value is going to be $500. And then what we
Right.
do, that's kind of the data layer, right? That's what we want to expose through GraphQL. And then we have some JavaScript to set up for the visualizations and kind of structure the data less around line items, but kind of run through that and say, okay, let's group that under category or under items. So I don't care if there's 1 or 50 line items across different shipments. We'll just say, here's the count or here's the value for all of these items that we've shipped.
Got it. You know what? I forgot that we were sort of nesting the structure ourselves, and so we have essentially a say. My bad. Let's come back here then. So
Oh, good. Yeah, I just want to take a look at how value is dealt with. I think Jake did something when we were setting up value. Yeah, so const raw value, and then we parse the float, and then there's this check because not all of the items have a count or a value. Yeah, so we can just ignore the ones that don't currently have that data available. So I think we should follow that format that Jake's using for raw value or for value with count. Do the same thing.
Yeah. So we can let's remove this and kind of move it up. Sorry, I think I scrolled too far. Move it up here. So instead of, I'll just comment this out. Const. Of course, this won't be a float with it. This will be a integer.
Yeah, this would be in it. Yeah, and I don't think we need the regex there because let me double check. There might be commas in the data.
Because then could come in floats, huh?
Not floats, but just how the numbers are formatted. Yeah, so it's like a string. Like let me put this in a comment or something.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I just sent that to you on the stream chat.
It's a string
like 2, you're gonna put it on 502.
Oh, so we got like what is this called? Like European number formatting? No, it's just thousands. Never mind. Ignore
just thousands. So we'll probably want a regex to strip out the commas there. So let's do it like Jake's.
Yeah. Do you know what? Would you mind if I were just out of curiosity, just brought up a JavaScript console real quick?
Sure.
Because what if Parsint respects that? No?
It might.
No, it does not.
Wait, but it looks like you already entered it and then you edited it again. Try it again real quick. Oh, weird. Yeah, so it's just saying that is 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? It might even be like region dependent as well. So better not play it safe, I think you made the you're making the right call. So we will in fact have a regex.
Yep.
Where instead of the $, we will have let me see if I remember my regex correctly. A comma or a full stop. That fair?
Yeah, that looks good right there. And then I think there's another comma that Jake included without doing the backslash that we can probably get rid of. You see right before the closing bracket.
Oh yeah.
On ours, yeah. So that looks like it should work.
Yeah.
And then let's go ahead and add that to the if statement, like if count and is not nan count. We're essentially just skipping the lines where data is not available right now. That's something we got to solve on the data end. No point in having that mess up, imperfect data mess up everything we're trying to do on the coding side.
Yep, makes sense.
Cool.
I'm gonna close the door. Just gonna close the door real quick. So
totally. So we'll leave Ramon's screen up, but I can also open this file and maybe y'all will be able to see the changes in real time.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
So if and count and is not is nan count. So that We're checking that count is there and that it is indeed a number.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
So just skip over any line items that don't have a count or don't have a value right now.
Yeah, that tracks. So
Cool.
we can then include the count here underneath
Yep.
value.
That
And
looks good.
then we'll need to restart our...
Yeah, let's do a yarn clean as well. Just kind of clear out so we don't have any caching issues where it keeps the old nodes around.
Yep, makes sense. I think I might have set up Git pod to every time I do yarn dev, it opens up a browser window. Something to debug.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So still building that, and then once we do that, we can take a look at the GraphQL.
GraphQL.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So in fact, we should be able to refresh that already, and then inside nodes, take a look at the count.
Woohoo! There we go.
Oh, hold on. So that's the amount of each. So not the value of each, but the amount of...
Yeah. So in that case, if you want to click item, like let me walk you through. So there's a line item, and what that's telling us is that we sent 2,502 items of baby clothing,
right,
on that shipment. There might be other line items that also list baby clothing on that shipment or on other shipments. It might be the only one, but that's the data that we're getting back there. And we can add value too. Like if you want to click on value real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would be the
like
value.
that.
Oh, the total value.
Yeah, that's the total value. So those
Yeah.
2,502 items of baby clothing are worth almost 40 grand. Yeah, we're not. Again, this is all kind of preview, so don't take anything as the gospel truth here. There's plenty of things we still need to add in on kind of the data reporting side and double check the accuracy and stuff. But it's good. It lets us build code, and I think that's very cool to kind of like get some of the code going. It's been very inspiring for our admin team and our ops team who have to do a lot of like fairly boring data entry work to get this going, to like see how we're using that, and by building it up with them, I think that adds a lot of motivation for them. So yeah, but it also makes sense. Baby clothing is expensive. Those baby clothing companies, like, I don't know if anyone's ever looked up the prices of like strollers and car seats and stuff. Like it costs money to be a new parent. Cool. Should we go back to the Viz component or Viz page? And now we can just include count in our, right there. Perfect.
Might we also be able to eliminate... No, let's not do that yet.
Okay.
So now we need to revisit... Oh, nice comments. Thank you.
Yeah, I moved that stuff up to a function there. And so I think what we could do is maybe add a parameter to this function. And it's like, do you want to visualize the count or the value, right? So kind of like, what's the selector or something like that we're trying to use. And like that'll get us something that's perfect. Like just make that a string probably. And then whenever we ask for value in here, right? So probably not right here, but down below. That's just setting up kind of the categories, drilling down to items. Exactly. So let's replace that with the bracket style syntax and use the selector.
Element implicitly has an any type because a string can't be used to index type line item. That's because our structure or categories value is 0, and we can't assume. Element implicitly has an any type because the expression of type string can't be used to index. Oh, it's assuming we're trying to that line item data is an array, right? Is that the TypeScript error?
Yeah, line item data should be an object, right?
Right. Of a specific structure,
Yeah. There
which
may be a function that would make TypeScript happier.
is there what? Sorry?
Oh! I think we just need to add a type hint. So what it's saying is basically like since selector is dynamic, it doesn't know what field we're selecting, right? So I think we just need to have like a type hint here. It's basically saying like, hey, you could be selecting a string from line item data. It doesn't make sense to add a string. It could be a number. In this case, we know they're both numbers, but it could potentially be anything, right? Um,
Right. So we need to cast this as.
yeah. Is that a thing?
TypeScript experts, please feel free to chime in.
Um,
Doesn't seem to have done it because it can't be used to. See, what's throwing me off is that line item
Yeah.
can't be used to index. So is it treating it like as an array?
Yeah, something like that.
Line item. Where's line item? It has a value, but it doesn't have a count.
There we go. There we go.
Would that be it? Not yet,
Yep.
because selector is a string, but we don't know what we're getting out of there.
Yeah, I think the issue is that like it wants a number on the left hand side, but it could potentially be anything. Like we could put item there and return an object from our selector. So
Right.
TypeScript doesn't know that we're going to limit the calls to just kind of these value fields.
So a couple options we have is a switch statement, which seems overkill and counterintuitive.
Oh, we might need to declare here, there's a blog saying dynamically access an object's properties in TypeScript.
I can't believe I've never run into this problem in TypeScript.
Yeah. So it says use key of type of object as the type of dynamic key, which is kind of weird. Let me send this to you so you can pull it up on your screen.
Oh, yeah.
But this looks like a good solution for us.
It's much bigger. Thank you to Borislav Tadziev for helping us with this. So let's see.
Oh yeah.
So type object key equals key of type of object. Not sure const myvar equals key of type of. Oh, nope, I still don't follow.
I think what it's trying to say is like we need to make this special accessor type, right? So like we basically, to allow TypeScript to do its checks, it's trying to make sure that object key, is going to be limited to name or country in this case, right? But it couldn't just be any random string, right? A string is too broad. A string, we're not dealing with strings. We're dealing with these specific strings that are valid properties of the objects, and so it wants us to be more specific to limit the type checking there.
Okay, that's a good lesson. So what we would want here essentially is selector is actually a key of type of, no, hold on. As key of type of, and then an
Yeah,
object.
and then that would be maybe we could just do key of and skip the type of, since we've already defined um, the type earlier. So like a key of line item or something like that, right? And we can call that, yeah, line item key or something.
Interesting.
Cool. Okay.
That did it.
Yay. Now it's happy.
Huh. Something
Good
else is
deal.
wrong. Oh, hold up. Oh, right.
Yeah, we just gotta pass it the value
For
string in
now.
case.
That look good?
Oh yeah, yeah, that works.
Let's
Let's
do it.
try it out. Yay. And
No,
that
hold on.
definitely
Wait, it's
looks
still
different.
in.
So it does formatting for the numbers, like the visualization is set up. So what I'd suggest is let's leave the original one as value and then add a second, we'll just copy and paste some code to set up a account based version.
I'm gonna be super lazy.
Super duper lazy. Ugh. Nice.
Using my Vim keys
I
right
think the
now.
arcs data, that's Jake's thing. So I don't think we need whatever that build globe viz data thing is again.
Yep, I think that looks good. In
Cool. And
fact,
we can call that parameter just total count instead of total count value.
oh yeah, that makes sense.
And let's change on line 136, the line item dot value to line item dot count there.
I don't think that works because. Oh, sorry. This is a mood right here. Like all caps debugging. That's my life. No, you know why I don't think it's the value, Taylor, because of this.
Oh, that's interesting. That's okay. So Nevo, the way it works is we can specify. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. So what we might want to do, I guess there's two like values we're dealing with, right? In
Yeah.
the Nevo data, we can specify that to be whatever we want. In our data, value means like dollar value. But let's just leave it for now. Then that might be a good refactor to kind of clarify. We're talking about count or value, and maybe there's another term we can use when we're dealing with the Nevo data. But I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Should we go to the JSX portion and just kind of copy and paste the visualization
Yeah.
component there?
So that would be not this one here. Oh, nice. So we'll just put one below with the section.
Yeah. Let's grab that section right there.
So data will be the same Nevo data. No,
I
it
think we
won't.
called it different. It was Nevo count data or something like that.
I think I accidentally removed the Nevo count data.
Cool. And we'll just want to rename that. Yeah. Sweet.
What's the total count for again?
That's to show. Oh, I was working on showing like the total in the middle. I don't think we're actually using that right now.
Okay.
But the idea was to add something to like show the total of everything.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. And did you update the Nevo data? Let's just take one last look at that JSX, and then I think we're good. Cool.
Love it when this is straightforward
format,
like this.
For the value format, let's go ahead and take out the dollar
Oh yeah.
sign there. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can
One.
leave the commas and stuff. Just take out the dollar sign.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we don't need decimal. We don't need this kind of precision, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So with that, that's one graph. Oh, we need to refresh most likely. So
Woohoo!
that's one graph. Oh, I guess I put one on top of the other.
Yeah. What's going on there?
I think I. Huh.
I think we might have been editing two different places here.
Whoops, my bad.
That's okay.
Fix that. Now it's back to the way it was. That's the globe. Here's our Nevo count data, which will not have the precision, just
Yeah.
the
Let's leave
comma.
that comment there. Perfect.
And that looks good. So we come back here and refresh. Looks
There we go. We got dollars on top. Let's take a look at that mass value. It's like 11 million. So I'm wondering, it looks like it's not necessarily, it looks like it's just using the same numbers. It's not using those count numbers. So let's go figure out why that's happening. This might be a good time to use
code C.
CodeC, yeah, to kind of figure out where we're mixing up our values and stuff.
Might have to log in. Ah, that's what the music is for.
Oh.
This time I'm trying dance pop. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's probably sending off a ton of data.
What, CodeC?
Yeah. It's taking quite a while.
Yeah, no, maybe the visualization components are like fairly complex with lots of nested things it's got to track for.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, don't let it run away.
So is it? Well, I mean, we'll have a new recording here, so it's not like it's lost. From today, did you see it was like 300 megabytes?
Wow, why is that so big?
Yeah, probably we're handling a lot of data.
Yeah. I wonder how big the actual like data files are though, because that.
So we want to look at viz. We want to look at the execution. Is that right? Yeah. There's my bug, Taylor.
Oh, we just put value in. Well, that was easy. Thanks,
My
CodeC.
bad. My bad.
But I think that's a good call for having these debug processes, right? We didn't necessarily need all of the features CodeC offered there, but just by running through kind of our standard format of debugging this stuff, we were able to see what was wrong.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow, this looks significantly different now.
Yep. So this is based on the actual physical counts of the items and not their not their value, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Like you can see, so they got 1,866,000 items, 894 hygiene items, of which, like, I want to say about 40,000 are not masks.
Yeah.
And you can see
And
that.
again,
Fascinating.
there we go. So what's happening here is that this is just like a partial data set. Like I said, we haven't kind of
Yeah.
rigorously gone through, every shipment in the past year or every one historically. So my guess is that masks are still overweighted, even if we're just looking at the counts, because we included, we sent these 2 containers of masks to Lebanon, which had 1.6 million masks. But we haven't added enough of the other shipments that we send to kind of balance that out, right? So this data set just includes like, a ton of masks data essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is great.
yeah, it's
That's
fun
looking
though.
good.
I think now I'm excited. I want to get like the full data set together so I can actually see how it stacks up, in the visualization once we have that. So
Yeah, that would be amazing. Do we want to commit this?
yeah, I think we're good. It seems like now that we have the data, we have the kind of data architecture in here, get things hooked up to GraphQL, and we have a few examples. It seems like it's pretty easy for people to create visualizations. So I think my next step after the stream, if anyone wants to hack on DA with me tonight, I want to refactor this visualization page. It's getting a little bit crowded with, all
Yeah.
3 kind of visualizations on there. Maybe make like an index page, and then each visualization can have its own simple page you can like click through. But that helped like separate some of this code and prevent it from running into each other. And give people space to make cool visualizations. Maybe it can, whoever wants to make one will show it off or whatever. Like,
That sounds great.
yeah.
Awesome. I will go ahead and make a separate branch for this then, as we did last time. Or
I think at this point we can probably just push it to Jake's branch. I think we're
okay,
good. Yeah.
let's do that then. Let's see what we've done. We've added the count to our GraphQL. We put that in. We did. This is so cool, by the way. Like, this is a big today I learned for me.
Yep.
An item selector, Nevo count data. We added a new graph, and we included the count. So I would say this would be a feature. Add count. Add count visualization and parsing from the data set.
Yeah, I'm not sure what parsing means in that context.
Parsing it from the parsing it into the GraphQL data.
Oh, okay. I would probably start the commit message with that first, like pull or parse, count data from GraphQL and visualize it.
That's a lot better.
Yeah, I always think of like, and actually doing supply chain work really helped me describe my code better, right? I really like it because what I learned to do is like you have to describe the physical reality. So when I'm talking to people, about actual operations, I make sure to like, whoa, let's slow down, let's stop, let's back up to the start, and then what is the step by step to get this stuff to where it needs to go. And so you see that work in like with this code here. It's like, okay, let's start with the parsing the data, and then that leads to making the visualization. Even though we're, the exciting part was the visualization. That was most of our work, just like telling that story in the order that the data is physically kind of flowing through. I guess
That's exciting.
Uh,
That's exciting. Folks, if you're watching and you want to hop on, Taylor, you're going to be doing some more hacking after this?
Yeah, I got my afternoon and evening open, so I have some other things to do. I might play around with that, but really, if anyone wants to create some cool data visualizations with me, just hit me up on Twitter, and I can jump on at any point, and would love to do a couple more hours on this today.
Super cool. Thanks a lot, Taylor.
Yeah.
Get in touch, please. And if not, we'll see you next week at the next stream.
Yeah, see y'all. We might need next week off. I'm traveling Wednesday, Thursday back to Serbia. So,
Gosh, it's already next week.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, it is.
How time flies. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll see how we do next
Let's
week.
touch
then.
base. Let's look at
We'll
the
touch
dates. Yeah,
base.
we'll let you all know. Cool. Take care,
Take care,
everyone.
everyone. See you later.